Hey guys, welcome to this episode of Fish Life Outdoors, where we're going winter bassing on Lake Lavon, Texas.
Hey guys, welcome back to today's episode. Again, we are cold weather bassing. I don't like getting out in this cold weather unless I'm getting in a deer stand. Right now the water temperature is 45 degrees, air temperature is about 30 when I put the boat in the water. Just getting started today, but I wanted to try to provide some tips and tricks of what I do. One, to prepare for a day on the water when it's super cold like this and it's in a cooling trend, and also maybe provide some guidance on some certain things to look for. So stay tuned, hopefully we'll help you out. Hey guys, first thing I want to do is go over a little equipment checklist that might make it more bearable for you with a cold day out in the water. Number one, get you some good driving gloves, okay? Even though your hands are behind, the console, it will literally freeze your hands off. Now, I don't fish in these gloves. I only use these to drive in. I don't really like fishing in gloves, and here's why. They make gloves, where the fingertips pop open, where you can cast and reel and stuff like that. But for me, the only part of my hands that ever get cold are my fingertips. So, I mean, that part of my hand right there, I can't ever remember in my whole entire life saying, man, the top of my hand's cold or my palm is cold. No, it's always my fingertips. So number one, get you some good driving gloves. Number two, probably my most favorite thing that I wear when navigating on a cold day is just some goggles. We also have a save face in the boat. It's one of them covers your whole face. Listen, I've tried to just go along with sunglasses on in weather like this, and boy, that air gets around. Them sunglasses are made to let air in so they won't fog up while you're fishing on a hot day. These right here, 100% the trick. I ordered these off of Amazon for like $9. I originally ordered them for riding my four-wheeler to a deer stand early in the morning. I said, man, I bet you this worked good in the boat. And like I said, $9. They got these little amber lens on it. It kind of brightens everything up too, so that's something else that'll help. Number three, layer up. I've got a pair of long handles on, I've got a pair of wind pants on, then I've got my insulated pair of insulated pants on. I've also got a long handle shirt on, I've got a sweatshirt, and then I've got the old Fish Life jacket. One other thing to consider too, honestly, it shouldn't even be considered. It should be automatic. Your PDF. Always wear your PDF, especially when it's super cold like this. Listen, your body is not prepared for 40-degree water, okay? So, you carry a 98.6 body temperature. When you fall in 40-degree water, it's gonna shock you, okay? If you have your PDF on and you fall in the water, more than likely you're gonna live. If you don't, there's a chance your body could cramp up or seize up just from that shock and you could go straight down. We don't wanna lose any of you guys, so please wear those PDFs. Now, another thing I'll consider is what type of day are we gonna have today, okay? Well, being a weekend fisherman, I really don't have much of a choice. I gotta fish on Saturdays or Sundays or on a holiday, Thanksgiving holiday or something or whatever. As fishermen, you can notice up here behind me, I ain't a cloud in the sky. So we're gonna have some good sunshine today, a nice, south breeze. Temperature's gonna get up from 30 up to about, low 50s, which is awesome. That's what my body as a fisherman wants. I want that, okay? But from my experience, that ain't what the fish want. Okay, we got a bluebird sky, high pressure system day, probably gonna be a really, really tough bite today. But it is what it is, I gotta get out when I can, okay? The best luck I've ever had fishing in cold weather is when it's dark gray thick overcast, maybe even drizzling rain a little bit. I have literally fished in 30-degree weather, drizzling rain in a tournament. I ain't gonna do that for fun. And I love you guys, but I ain't gonna go out here to film a video, just do it for you too. Anyway, if you can get out on a day where it's just thick overcast and it's cold, I think you're gonna have more success than a day like we got today. Like I said, bluebird, high pressure system, something about that low pressure, man, and that thick overcast, it really gets them fish a little bit more active and changes their metabolism. You know, their feeding activators, what I like to call it, during those conditions. So something else to consider as well is watch your weather, know what kind of day it is before you go out, because that'll help you plan. You know, on that thick overcast day, I might move a little bit shallower than I would. Like today, I'm gonna stay 12 foot of water or deeper all day. And y'all know Z-Dub, he don't like to fish deep, but that's the kind of day I got. That's the day that I've been given, so I'm gonna have to go with it. So hey, now another thing I'll do, and y'all bear with me for a second here. When I first heard this by my boy, my brother from another mother, your Lake Fork guide, he said the best advice he can give, the best advice he can give when getting out on a cold weather day is always fish. You know, starting out when the sun's first coming up, always fish a northwest corner of a pocket or a main lake, you know, point or something along those lines. Because that, and it makes sense, because that's the water that the sun is going to hit and penetrate and warm up first and fastest. Okay, now if you can find a 4 to 8 foot flat back off in a pocket, okay, in the northwest corner of that pocket, that would be my #1 target area. So one thing I'm going to do is I can do it on my phone with the Navionics app sitting at home, or when I get out here, I can just pull up my graph, okay? And as you guys can see there, I got my graph pulled up. So and notice I've got it, normally I have it on head up, but I've got it on north up right now, just so I can definitely tell where are the northwest corners and pockets. Like for example, this main lake point right here, okay? You can see that. This main lake point right here, let me just zoom in. So this would be the northwest corner. It looks like we got some good structure here as well. So, you know, this is definitely gonna be a target area, a little road bed running through there. So there's a lot of potential here, okay? So again, the tip being, find a northwest corner. Another tip is, and I read this in an article and it just made perfect sense that I've started utilizing it. Find the hardest structure you can. Rocks, metal boat docks, concrete seawalls, stuff like that. Those things are going to retain and not generate, but those things are going to retain and disperse more heat along them than anything else on the lake, more than wood, more than an aluminum, you know, dock or something like that. So solid steel, you know, drill collar docks, rocks, concrete seawalls, target those areas, okay? Grass will also retain and give off heat as well. So if you can find a deeper grass line in you know, 6 to 12 feet of water, I'd certainly target that as well. Also in that article, it talked about where the fish are going to be on that structure, okay? Now, the article said this. I can't remember where I read this article, but the article said this. Imagine you're in a house and somebody lights a fire in your living room. Smoke goes everywhere. And I'm not talking about setting your house on fire, like a little fire pit, okay? Smoke all in your living room. What are you going to do? You're going to get to the nearest edge of something, a wall, okay? So you can kind of hang by that wall and kind of find your way around, right? So concrete retaining walls, rock ledges, things like that. Bass are going to utilize those, you know, to slowly and lethargically move around during these cold weather conditions. You know, another thing, you know, as far as how the smoke comes into play, in the southeastern half of the United States, in the wintertime, our lakes are dirty and cold, okay? So being dirty, it even makes more sense that they're gonna hang against those ledges, against those seawalls, you know, against like a line of grass, okay? Now, what you wanna find is the imperfections in that line. So if you have a seawall, okay, if you have a straight seawall, concrete seawall, and there's maybe you know, maybe the earth moved a little bit and it kind of pushed that seawall out 2 or 3 foot. That's where you want to target. I would target that area. Or if you've got a rock wall going right here and you've got some bigger boulders coming out and making like a little point, that's where I'd target. A grass line, if you're fishing a grass line, if you see an indentation or a point in the grass, I would back off and make several casts with several different baits to those imperfections in those lines like that. So, okay guys, here's a perfect example of what I was looking at for looking at those imperfections. You can see I've got there's a rock wall right here, okay? I've got my line of rock wall right here and right here, okay? Now, notice the rocks kind of come out like this, and they go all the way across out to my left. This is exactly that little imperfection that I'm looking for. So I'm gonna target this area right here. Motors? I'm not, no, sir. Man, I got a 15 horsepower Mariner that go perfect on that boat. Sitting in my garage, just needs a little work. I'm trying to get rid of it. No, you can have it. I used it for years on a boat just like that, and my son just upgraded to a bigger duck boat and got a Yamaha 25. This is just a 15 horsepower. Always ran good, just needs a little work, man. All right, you guys see my man back here? Just loaded his boat up. That dude is in a 14-foot John boat with a trolling motor on it. And I seen that dude coming from all the way around that point way over there. I mean, it took him 30, 45 minutes, but he finally got over here. Well, it just so happens old Z-Dub happens to have an older Mariner 15 horsepower motor that he might be able to get running. So I just asked if he wanted it. Fishermen helping fishermen, it's what we do. I mean, listen, for years and years, I fished in a boat just like that. My son started out fishing in a boat just like that. So, you know, if I have the ability to help somebody out and give them something that might help them. Now, again, it's gonna take a little work on his part to actually get that motor running, but once it's running, man, it always ran good. So who knows, maybe something good will come of this. That's what it's all about. All right, guys, well, Z-Dub's gonna shut it down for the day. I wish I could have showed you some on the water footage, but it would have been just straight me getting my butt kicked. Got a few bites, missed a few fish, but you know, look, that's kind of what to expect this time of year. I mean, you know, they're gonna be hit or miss. I hope those little tips and tricks there a little while ago help y'all kind of develop a plan if you are going to get out and do some extremely cold water fishing. Like I said, the water temperature is 46.9. I think it was 46.1 this morning when I was talking about it, and it literally hadn't come up a single degree. It's still cold out here, but anyway, like I said, man, I hope this helps you guys out with planning a cold weather fishing day. I mean, you know, us working stiffs, man, look, we got to take what Mother Nature throws at us on Saturdays and Sundays, and that's what happened to me. Now, this coming up week is supposed to be a lot, or this week, matter of fact, you guys gonna see this video Tuesday or Wednesday. Hell, today's Sunday, okay? And we're supposed to get rain all this week. It should be raining when you're watching this video according to the weather, but you know, who knows? I wish I could have a job where I could be right 50% of the time and, you know, still keep my job. But anyway, I'd like to be out fishing this week in the nasty weather, even though it's gonna be cold. I just tend to have a lot better luck than these, you know, bluebird days like this. But hey, it is what it is. Appreciate you guys watching this episode of Fish Life Outdoors. And look, whether it's 90 degrees or 30 degrees like it was this morning, you just got to get out and live it, baby.